and also who's currently serving, but also within our own community and unfortunately across the nation. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of black on black violence. How do you feel he would respond to being able to see Obama or seeing the things that are going on in our communities across this nation? Either one of you have any thoughts? I know all we can do is project those,
Yeah.
but what do you think his feelings would be?
I mean, there's no question about it that he'd just be, you know, just excited for the fact that we finally reached the point where we could have a black president, not even just before he even became the president, just having the courage and the ability and the support to even run to be president, to even think that it was possible to even achieve that goal. But of course, with Barack Obama being in office now, of course, that's just something that he projected, but maybe some people didn't even think it could happen, but I'm glad it definitely happened. But then when you look at the violence, again, it's almost like we progress, but then we digress. You see what I'm saying? Especially within our own community. We've had, I think, 22 homicides so far. We're one off from reaching a record that hasn't been hit since '89. And it was a really busy summer. And when you think about this, a lot of this is black on black crime. And we mentioned this on Strictly Hip Hop as well, that black people, this black on black crime, we're canceling each other out. You know, and nobody wins in the end. You have one person that kills another person. So one mother loses her son, and then somebody else gets hit with a hefty prison sentence, so that mother loses her son as well. And we've lost 2 African Americans in the community who you never know what they could have done within the community, who obviously didn't reach their full potential to be a part of this community. And once people realize, not even just blacks, just anybody that isn't reaching their full potential, once you realize that you have the potential to do something and that the world is bigger than yourself, and you realize that you're a part of something bigger than yourself, I think we'll just be a lot better off. But with those 2 people gone, one in prison, one in the grave, we're missing a vital part of our community that could have been useful.
And what's so sad is you don't really know what you can try to do to change that. That's what's really sad about it, because I know Dr. King would be sad to see what's going on when he preached, you know, nonviolence. That's what he was all about.
Exactly.
And then to see particularly young people, as young as the ones that we've seen pass lately.
Teenagers.
He would just sit back and say, okay, what is it that we all need to get together and try to do to make a difference? Is it that we need to provide jobs for these young people? Is it just activities that they need? Or is it that we need to spend more time mentoring? There's so many different programs that we have in our community. And is it something that we're not doing to help give back to make that change? I don't know if it's, we started with, the mayor tried to start a community call to action with Senator Kaler to see if there was something that they could try to get to the root of this, and also Representative Jahan Gordon, to see if they could come up with some ideas, and that's ongoing, and hopefully we can try to come up with some solutions there. But it just strikes me that I don't know that any of us really know what the answer is, but hopefully we can try to continue to work together and do, like you were saying, give back, because that's what it's all about.
Well, I think some of it is also just a lack of a sense of purpose. Once people realize that they have an obligation to this community, to themselves, to their family, to the nation, I think they would utilize their time to progress themselves as well as whatever it is that they're a part of. And once you do that, you don't have any time for nonsense. You don't have any time for violence. You don't have any time for just senseless bickering that often ends up in tragedy like murder.
Right.
And I think it's important, as I think I heard you say it several times, everyone is not just one. I know at one time I felt when I was alive, and I knew Martin Luther King. In fact, I have a thing that when he was here in Illinois at Cicero, because of the segregation and the problems as close as Peoria, Cicero, Chicago, that it took everyone, and oftentimes we kind of felt that he was the Messiah. He was the prophet. And we depended upon him. And I sometimes think that with Obama being in the White House, as far as many African Americans, we kind of feel that he'll get it straight. But it takes everyone and not just one. It takes all of us in our own way. Whether we're active in the community, we could be active at home. And that's where some of our problems come from, is that we're not involved in our children's lives or our own lives to the full potential. And I don't think there's a magic bullet that a minister, a politician, or a community worker is going to come up with. It's going to take hard work, just like the civil rights movement took hard work, it took sacrifice. But at the end, everyone won. As far as I'm concerned, civil rights was as important for white America as it was for black America. I kind of equated to like sports teams. I can remember when I was growing up in high school, you didn't see many black athletes. You certainly didn't see any black quarterbacks in the pros or in the colleges because they would not give us an opportunity and so forth. Today, they have benefited through the leadership and through the ability, not only on the athletic field, but across the nation, that we've been able to do some things such as your speaker, Ben Carson, a black neurosurgeon who was able to do some things with the brain and things that hadn't been done before. So if given the opportunity, and as long as we prepare, America rises, not just the individual or the group, but the whole of America rises.
And like you were saying, the problem with people just putting it on one leader, a leader can't lead without any people. You see what I'm saying? That's some of the problem we have, that diffusion of responsibility. We figure as somebody else to take care of it. But even though Martin Luther King is somewhat the face of civil rights, he couldn't have done it without the group of people moving a movement with him. Just like people say, critics of Obama say, well, Obama's not doing anything. Well, Obama can't do it by himself. He has a Congress that he has to have help him pass anything that he has any idea to do. You see what I'm saying? So just like Martin Luther King needed people with his movement, just like President Barack Obama needs people to help him over in D.C., people here, we can't just say, what's wrong with all the violence? Somebody needs to take care of that. Mayor Artist needs to take care of that. The city, needs to take care of that. They're just there to lead. They're just giving you, instructions on, we can do this. This is how we do it. This is not how I'm going to do it. This is how us as a community are going to get through this. And like I said, when people realize that we have an obligation to this community and we actually put forth, time and effort, will we ever see any change in Peoria or D.C.?
Right, right.
Well, through leadership such as yourself, DeMarcus, an individual who has grown up here, making an impact here, speaking out for what is right and what is needed. If we can get other young men like you, other young women, both black and white, to really focus on making Peoria what we've often been referred to as an all-American city, a real all-American city, and that participate, roll up our sleeves, and as I said, some of us are in a position, such as you find yourself now with your radio show, being able to reach out to hundreds, if not thousands of people who tune you in. And again, what station are you on so that people can begin to tune you in?
It's Strictly Hip Hop 90.7. It's from 6 to 8. And we also have a bunch of other people on there too. RJ the One, his show is at 4 o'clock. He's also talking about issues in the community. He's talking really heavy about issues in the community. And we got who's here, Lamar Real to Real Anderson. He has that Deja Vu. But it's all the new music, and that's all good and everything. But it's also the message that we're just giving out to the people in the community. A lot of people don't read and watch the news, so we're trying to take that and give it to the people and putting them up on game as far as what's going on locally, statewide, and nationally too. So.
But the name of the show is called
Strictly Hip Hop.
But it's not just strictly hip hop. So a person my age can tune in and learn something other than hearing.
Definitely.
Because
we got some music for you too, though.
Oh,
we got
and I'm not knocking the music, but I am knocking the fact that in addition to snapping our fingers, we also need to be walking in beat toward the betterment of ourselves, the betterment of our family and our community.
And that's the thing about it. It's not strictly hip hop isn't strictly hip hop music. It's strictly hip hop culture. And one of the elements that makes up hip hop is being informed, is being educated. And so that's where you get that extra element in there.
Well, I'm so glad. About how long has this radio program been on now?
3 months, about 3.5 months.
Okay.
I spoke to Alma Brown when we first started it, and that was about 3.5 months ago, so yeah.
Well, many, many years ago, some 35 years ago, CAPtions was only 3 months old.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that it has continued, and I hope it has made a difference. And I can tell you right now, I have listened. And a lot of the information that you have shared with people has become very useful for them to hear and for them to participate. It's kind of like the theme of my CAPtions is to educate people, to motivate people, for them to participate. And I know that's part of what you do, is to educate people of what's going on in our community, in our state, to motivate people to get involved, to go to council meetings, school board meetings, neighborhood association meetings, and participate when they get there. So I want to take my hat off to you in terms of stepping up and leaving your footprints in the sand already while you're still a young man, and hopefully you are a role model for other young men to see how you have made a difference already in your life, and that they too can make a difference in whatever they choose to do in their life.
Okay, thank you. And also, it's not just me by myself. It's I'm on the show with another DJ Lavish. So definitely shout out to DJ Lavish.
Okay, okay. And Alma, for those who may not be totally familiar, what is your responsibility at City Hall? Are you like the communications director?
Yes,
okay.
yes, that's my role at the city, officially city spokesperson. So
okay.
I work heavily with the media alongside with the mayor and city council. So it keeps me pretty busy, but I enjoy it, and the best part of it is when I have the opportunity to do something to help someone in the community, and I get that a lot from people calling into our office. So.
And that's important. Both of you are voices to the community, to educate people, to let people know what's going on, to get them involved. And this special luncheon is another vehicle outside of your job description, but because of your community interest in wanting to do something for the community as a whole, is coming up. And I certainly hope that we overflow, as we have in the past,
Thanks.
people to attend, as well as overflow people in terms of the march. Well, our time tonight is up, but I hope that your time in life continues for many more years to come, and that you reach out and you touch many lives. You'll find that there are people that are watching you and listening to you that you will influence that you had no idea. You're blessed to be in your positions, and I hope that God continues to walk with you through these treacherous times so that you can fulfill your dream of making a difference. This is Andre Bohannon saying good night, and again, thank you for watching CAPtions. May God bless you.